Hello, everyone. My name is Elle Burnett, and thank you for watching my seasonal runway analysis. I picked Tokyo Spring 2027, and I brought all of my trend analysis from Tokyo Spring 2026. My five different shows were Tao, Hike, Anselmu, Uechichi, and Pillings. First for colors. There was a lot of soft midlight gray in a lot of the garments and fashion shows that I saw. I think this color is going to be very popular, one, because it's a great neutral and goes with everything. Plus, depending on the finish of the fabric, you can do a lot with it. So it can be muted like the picture on the left, or it can be kind of sheer and shiny like the one on the right. The second one is a sage green. Again, kind of going with the neutral palette. I think we're going to see a lot of this coming up in 2027. One, because it's a very natural color, and two, it evokes a lot of peace and harmony. And I think it's going to be very powerful, both as the star of a lot of garments and as an accent color. Third is Crimson Red. This one, in my opinion, speaks for itself. It's very powerful, very beautiful color. Plus, you can do it like the one on the right, very muted, or very loud and luminous and very saturated, like the one on the left. Charcoal black, I think, is going to be a staple no matter the year, but especially in 2027. I saw a lot of this throughout all the shows that I watched, and it's just very powerful. It evokes a lot of emotion, and depending on the silhouette and the shapes you use with it, it's very effective. Now for shapes. A lot of what I saw was very boxy. I think it kind of goes with the inclusive unisex trend going on that we're going to see a lot more of in 2027. Most of them were on female figures, but even a lot of the male figures still had that wide, boxy look, which I really love. And these two were great examples of that, especially around the waistline. The second one is a voluminous skirt. I did not see a lot of very tight fitting skirts specifically. Dresses sometimes were a little more fitted, but as far as skirts go, I saw a lot of volume, a lot of tulle, and just a lot of structure, kind of widening the figure, making it more powerful. And these two are really great examples of it. Third, broad shoulders, kind of going with that boxy silhouette like I talked about, but a lot of them had kind of a wider shoulder, very powerful, very statement-making silhouettes, especially on the female figure. And last, I saw a lot of empire waists. The one on the right is a little more subtle, but the one on the left is definitely more pronounced, kind of starting right below the bust and giving a lot of it too had a lot of volume from that waistline down. Not a lot of it was very form-fitting. Once it hit that empire waistline, there was a lot of volume, a lot of fabric, a lot of structure, and that was a look that I really one, enjoy personally, and two, I think we're going to see a lot more of as we kind of shift towards this boxy unisex kind of trend. And for patterns, first was a lot of gingham. I go into stripes a little later, but specifically gingham showed up a lot, whether it was kind of a finer print like the one on the left or a wider print like the one on the right. This particular towel, this particular brand used it quite a bit in skirts, dresses, everything you can imagine, and they did it really well. Stripes were also very popular. I was going to say horizontal, and then I went back and looked, and really it was all kinds of stripes. Wherever they could fit it in, they did it. Even diagonal stripes, too. I saw a lot of kind of an asymmetrical look, very powerful, but these pants and this sweater do a really great job of it, especially just with their shape and flow and general fit on the body. I think these are two very effective ways of using stripes by these two designers. Third is floral. I saw quite a bit of that, especially like the one on the left when it's in a knit fabric. There was a lot of floral work, very detailed, very dainty, not a lot of big prints. And then the one on the right, this Tao fashion brand, they did a really good job of this, especially with this kind of sheer satin or tulle fabric. They did a really great job using that effectively. And then last was this ornate lace. This was gorgeous in my opinion, and I think it's going to be very popular because it has a feminine touch to it, but depending on the fabric and kind of the drape of it, it can be used in so many different ways. I think we're going to see a lot more of this, and I especially love the contrast between the kind of lighter color of the base fabric and then the dark black lace coming across it. To me is just extremely powerful and really gives these models just something really empowering and strong to wear down the runway. Fabrics. We saw a lot of denim. Denim it's a classic, it's timeless. I did bring up denim too because it was very sun faded. Most of the denim that I saw had this kind of finished sun faded finish to it or wash to it, which I think is just super fitting. I think in 2027 we're going to kind of go more towards a casual look, but that's more elevated. And so I think when you make an elevated garment like these jackets and then give it a sun-faded look, it gives it that casual everyday wearability. So this was really well done, and especially the one on the right. I love the accent color collar there. But yes, sun-faded denim was definitely very popular. This particular brand, I went looking through their fabric choices and they picked rayon polyester because it's great for suiting fabric, kind of gives it structure, but it's very breathable. This particular designer was very convinced and passionate about their choice of fabric and that it was breathable and wearable and functional in day-to-day routine. And so they didn't use a typical suiting fabric. They used a rayon polyester, and I think the drape and fit of these are just perfect. But I think we're going to see a lot more of that synthetic fiber and fabric come in 2027 for more powerful and professional looks and replace things like wool and heavy suiting materials. A lightweight cable knit was used quite often, a lot of texture. These two particular sweaters I think are just gorgeous. Plus, they have a feminine and masculine touch to them, which I really enjoy. But I think these are just extremely well done and very intricate. And I think the small details are really going to be powerful and important in 2027. And then the last one is a sheer organza or tulle. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, we're given a lot of volume, we're giving a lot of power and statement to our garments. This one on the right, I just love the whole outfit that she's got going on there. But the skirt is just amazingly well done. The angles, the cut of the tulle, I think is fantastic. And then the one on the left, the way they kind of fall in waves to me is just beautiful with the color kind of underlaid behind it. But I think sheer organza and kind of a tulle, a see-through, transparent kind of fabric is going to be very popular. Accessories. One was a tote bag. I feel like all I've heard about is tote bags the last year, and I don't think that's going to stop going into 2027. They're casual, they're easy, they carry a lot, they're very functional, versatile for everyday wear, and I saw many models carrying them in these 5 fashion shows, so I had to put it in here. Another one that I saw that I was not really expecting was a pantyhose or a tight. And these two are particularly intricate. But I just absolutely love this. I think as a layer, it's going to be very popular in 2027. I think we're looking for a versatile, expressive, uh, kind of accessory in fashion. And I think these are the perfect way of doing that. And I think a lot of people are going to use these to elevate their looks and take casual and turn it sophisticated. Wings, I saw a lot of. I think these are kind of always have always kind of been there, but I think especially with the trend that I think of is the Victoria's Secret fashion show and just kind of the way that those models were kind of back, empowering women, celebrating the female body. And I think that this is a great example of that in a runway setting, in more of a high fashion setting. And these two were just exquisitely done, I think. The powerful crimson red and then this beautiful kind of yellow green color. These two were just very powerful and really well done. And then headpieces. Two very interesting options. We've seen this look on the right before in the slideshow, but the headpieces I thought were an extremely interesting addition in these 5 fashion shows and kind of totally different. Like every fashion show kind of had their own spin on it. And I think these two were particularly eye-catching. And they obviously hold a very deep meaning to the designers and the brands, and they do a lot to add to the outfit. But I think as far as functionality, versatility, and again, layering, I think layering is going to be very important in 2027, and being able to build and customize your outfit to you is going to be very important, and headpieces are going to do just that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.